The Secret of the Old Mansion, Part 3. Several weeks had passed since the friends left the old mansion. Although they had uncovered its secret and freed Emma's spirit, the feeling of unease still lingered. Every time one of them was left alone, dark memories of that night would resurface. Anna began to write her thoughts in a journal, trying to cope with the growing anxiety. One evening, while sitting in a cafe, Sergei approached her. His face was serious. "Anna, we need to talk," he said, sitting down across from her. "Is something wrong?" she asked, noticing his troubled expression. "I found something strange," Sergei replied, pulling an old key from his pocket. "It's a key to the mansion. I don't remember us leaving it there." A chill ran down Anna's spine. "Are you sure?" "Yes, I found it in my things after that night," Sergei said. "I don't know what it means, but—" "We have to go back," Anna interrupted him. Her heart raced. Despite the fear, she felt it was necessary. The next day, the friends gathered again. Maxim and Alia also agreed, and soon they were standing before the old mansion, which now seemed even more ominous. The wind howled, as if warning them against returning. "Ready?" Sergei asked, squinting into the darkness. The others nodded, and they entered. This time, the atmosphere was different. It felt as though the mansion was expecting them. As they walked through the familiar rooms, they headed toward the basement, the place they had once descended. The walls seemed darker and the air heavier. Sergei pulled out the key and began searching for a lock it might fit. "This door," he said, pointing to an old, weathered door at the end of the hallway. The key clicked easily into the lock, and the door slowly creaked open. Inside was a small room filled with old objects and papers. On the table lay books, similar to the ones they had seen before, but among them was another, thick with a leather cover, engraved with the words, "The Mystery of the Legacy." "What is this?" Alia asked, picking up the book. She opened it and began reading aloud. The pages were filled with spells and descriptions of rituals related to Emma's family legacy. They were trying to create something, Maxim said, looking at the text, something powerful. Suddenly, the air shifted, and they felt a familiar shadow enveloping them. "Something's wrong," Anna whispered. She turned around and saw a familiar vision. Emma. She was standing in the corner of the room, her expression one of pure fear. "Don't read it," Emma cried, her voice filled with panic. "These rituals could summon something you won't be able to control." The friends' hearts raced in unison. "We don't want to cause harm," Sergei shouted. "You need to understand what you're summoning," Emma continued. "This legacy is not only tied to my family, but to each of you. If you go further, you'll open the gates to a world that has been closed for centuries." They exchanged looks, realizing their lives would never be the same. "What do we do?" Alia asked, her voice trembling. "Close the book and leave," Emma replied. "Don't let the darkness take hold of you. I don't want you to become a part of this." The friends stood, ready to leave the room, but just as Anna tried to close the book, something in the room changed. The walls began to groan, and shadows swirled around them, as if trying to drag them in. "Hurry!" Maxim shouted. They rushed toward the door, but it slammed shut right in front of them. In a panic, they tried to open it, but the lock was jammed. "What do we do?" Alia cried. At that moment, Emma appeared again. "You need to recite the spell from the book to set everything right," she said, her voice echoing. Gathering themselves, the friends approached the table. "Where does the spell begin?" Anna asked, flipping through the pages. They found the words they needed and, without hesitation, began to speak them in unison. At first, nothing happened, but then the darkness began to dissipate and light filled the room. Suddenly, the door swung open, and they rushed toward the exit, not looking back. Once outside, they felt the weight lift from them. They were free, but they had left the book and all its secrets behind. "We did it," Sergei said, still panting. "But what now?" Anna asked, staring at the mansion, which still stood, full of mysteries. "I hope we freed Emma," Maxim said, "but we still have questions. We need to figure out how this legacy could affect us." And so, even though they were free from the physical darkness of the mansion, their souls remained under the pressure of the legacy that connected them to Emma and her tragic story. Each of them felt that the mysterious tie to the past was still alive and needed further investigation.